Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor. With me, as always, Damian the Wolverine Hill. Trash Talk is joined tonight by Collin Huckbody, who broke some big news last week. But first, let's go through the sponsors of the show: Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, Spartan Martial Arts, the Striking Institute, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, the Fight Mom. Collin, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. I got done with training a couple hours ago, so I always feel pretty good after laid back after training. Plus, we're doing a late night interview, 9 p.m.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time with us. I really appreciate it, especially to share this really big news. That's you fighting on the Contender Series. I mean, how did all of that come about? And give us a little bit of details about it, what day it's happening and all of that.
Well, it's August 25th. A lot of those Contenders guys have records just like I do, 7-2. They've worked their way up through the rankings a little bit, and I feel like I have. And I think this is just a great opportunity to show what all my skills that I have. Being off for 11 months, I think it'll be good.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, coming off performance in October, Damian and I had the lucky privilege of being cage side doing commentary for that fight. So seeing that fight, and then when the COVID started, you were actually scheduled to main event on May 2nd. So I mean, you talk about the change of emotions when you went from initially losing that fight to starting hearing rumblings that you might have to fight for the series. How long of a gap was it there, and were you staying training the whole time?
Well, those camps I was training for, and it's always kind of a bummer when stuff doesn't go right. But at the end of the day, I'm getting better by training. So I try to train every day, and I think it'll all pay off pretty well,
Yeah. So are you even focusing on the fact that the other fights had canceled, or have you thought about, well, if those fights had happened, that you might not be getting this opportunity right now?
Right. That's a good thing I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm glad I took this 11th month break, and this is good for me, and I think it's just overall a great opportunity. No fights are happening, and I get this opportunity to represent my team, represent myself, represent my state.
Yeah.
Against, I think he's Arkansas. Is that right? Ranked second, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, how did this come to be? A little bit more detail, if you could. Was it your coach? Was it your manager? Was it somebody kind of just reached out? They were looking for a guy, and you were like, "No, you campaigned for it." You were like, "No, I'm the motherfucker you need." And how did this happen?
Jason House is my manager. I was originally set up to fight Kyle Dawkins, who was fighting last week, UFC.
Okay.
And he got that call, so now I have a new opponent who I'm feeling pretty good about. So
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And you mentioned the change of opponents. Fighting a gentleman, Hiron Bowen, you mentioned from Arkansas. Interesting record when you look at his record. He started off kind of a rocky road. I believe he was 2-4 at one point, and now he's rattled off 7 straight wins. Every single one of his wins are by finish, I believe. I believe he's only been to decision one time. Knowing that you're going to fight a guy with a high energy who looks to try to finish, coming off of what I've said on the show multiple times was your best performance that I've ever seen in your last fight. Does that give you a confidence, or is there a different way of approaching this fight, knowing that this is someone who hasn't seen that final bell and tries to push?
Yeah, he's kind of a live by the sword, die by the sword type of fighter. He has that strong knee up the middle. I've been watching. I think there's some things that we can really do in this fight that are going to impress a lot of people. Yeah, I'm not sure what the question was, but I think I think it'll be good.
Well, the mainly the fact that he kind of starts off fast and hasn't been to the decision yet. I mean, does that give?
Exactly. I've had my decision victories.
Yep.
I've had my decision losses. I mean, 2 losses. And I think I'm more experienced than people think I am. Wrestling since 4, competing at that high level, I feel like plays a difference in the fight game. And I don't think he has that.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know, but I do know this just because all my family is in Arkansas. They're all from Arkansas. Well, I mean, I guess they're all there. My mom's from Arkansas. You know what I mean? But anyway, wrestling's not that big there. So yeah. But
it's a fight at the end of the day, and we need to train like we're fighters. So
yeah,
putting those reps into my stand up as well, and believing in my coach, Brock. You know, he's taught so many people that I can't help but respect that at the end of the day, and really just listen and do what he says. Just work hard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a guy at Brock Larson's level, I mean, he's forgot more about the game than a lot of people will learn. And when you turn it around, shit, I completely blanked on what I was going to say, but now I remember. So when you turn around, like I said, coming off such a strong performance, and then with the layoff, you mentioned that you've been working a lot more, working on your striking, well-rounding your game. I've seen some pictures recently. Can you elaborate on who you've been working with and what type of rounds you've been able to get here leading up to this since the news broke?
A lot of the work is kind of one-on-one work with that quarantine going on. It was personalized towards me back in July when Contenders was originally.
Yep.
So we kind of picked off where we left off. And just working with Joey right now. And he's a long, lankier guy that I think will simulate this guy well.
Yeah.
But as far as my striking getting better, I'm just I think I'm going to go out to Jackson Wink July 15th here and upgrade there. But I believe in my past striking coaches too. Like here in Tulka, he taught me Muay Thai when I was back in Grand Rapids wrestling there. And had different coaches everywhere, like Chris and from Beller, taking a little bit from everywhere and making it my own.
Yeah. So I guess the whole purpose of the Contender Series is for them to find talent for the UFC. Not everybody who fights on the Contender Series gets that call, but a lot of the guys that have standout performances and look good end up getting that call. What do you see yourself having to do to be one of those guys that gets the call either after this fight or gets another opportunity on the Contender Series and then gets the call or something like that? What do you have to do on October 25th? August. There we go. You said October earlier. Threw me off.
I did. August 25th. I gotta bring tenacity to the cage. I gotta bring the pace that I set in my fights. Just bring my game and be aware of what he brings and capitalize on what he gives me.
Yeah, you got to go in there, fight your fight, and find what you can. And kind of piggybacking off Damien's question here is, this is the 4th year now that they've ran the Contender Series, and like he said, the formula is there on what they're looking. A lot of times they want quick finishes, they want exciting finishes. Does that play a factor in your training leading up to the fight, or at the end of the day, is it about winning and fighting smart and winning your fight?
I love training stand-up. I love training jiu-jitsu, karate, Wing Chun. I'm going to use it all when I get in there, and I don't identify with one skill set. I'm a mixed martial artist, so.
Hell yeah. Now, but one thing that I do know that in Arkansas, because we spoke on it a little bit earlier, there's not too much wrestling going on down there with the collegiate level. I mean, not collegiate level, the high school levels and things like that, and at least with youth growing up wise. Kids play other sports down there. But one of the things that everybody knows growing up there when they get into MMA is that when you're fighting somebody in the Midwest, they're pretty good wrestlers. And I know that's something that's probably going to be in the back of his mind. What have you been doing to prepare for his preparation for your wrestling, if that makes sense?
I'm putting in reps on the feet. I'm sure he's putting in reps in wrestling, maybe. Or maybe he's just striking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm working out everywhere.
Oh.
Ready for everything.
Oh yeah. Okay, I guess this would be my final question, but like just because we've talked on all of the training that you've been doing, all of the things that you've been working on and how you identify yourself as a mixed martial artist, you're ready for anything. Do you feel like there's going to be, or that he has one ability that might catch you off guard or might surprise you in the fight?
I think if I prepare to my fullest, if I do everything I can, there's not much at the end of the day that I can control what he does.
Yep.
So, we're going to both show up August 25th, and I'm going to bring everything I have. So I can get hands on.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm excited. When this news broke, I couldn't have been happier. I love seeing guys, especially local guys, get that opportunity, and there's not many more deserving than you are at this point in time. So, again, August 25th, it's a Tuesday night, so you ain't going to be doing nothing. Be sure to check it out. Before we wrap it up, though, Collin, always like to give a platform just to thank any teammates, sponsors, anybody that's been there for you leading up to this fight. The platform is yours, sir.
Thank you. I got teammates that probably will be on this stage pretty soon. I feel like, they really should. Like, Joey's coming up. He'll be pro soon. But Angel, man, or Bobby, LFA veteran. I want my guys to do well too. And just like I want them to support me. Anyway, I got my HK gloves right here. Been rocking them.
Oh, yeah.
Compex minigun.
Oh.
Thanks to sponsor there.
Oh, hell yeah. I got to get me one of those.
Yeah.
Dude. It's been fun talking to you guys.
Yeah, man. I'd love to have you on again. I can't wait to talk to you again after you go up there and perform and whoop some ass on the Contender Series, dude. I'm going to enjoy watching your performance. I'm excited.
I'm glad.
Man. Everybody be there or be square. Like this video, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damien and TJ, and watch that fight August 25th. And right behind that in importance is not being a hoe.